You're watching DC News Now at 9 o'clock. Happy Maryland primary night, everybody. I'm Chris Flanagan.
And I'm Tosin Fakile. That bitter battle between the top two Democrats vying for a rare open U.S. Senate seat is almost over. Polls are closed and your results are pouring in.
Yeah, the latest Democratic Senate race results in just a moment. But first, AP just called former Governor Larry Hogan as a projected winner for the Republican nomination. Again, that just happened a few minutes ago, calling it for the former governor.
Yeah, that's right. That call came in at about 8:38, right after the polls closed. And coming out now, DC News Now's Randy Bass with us, his victory speech right now. Let's listen in.
Maybe it's by shocking and beating the odds.
Hey everyone, yes, that victory speech getting underway here in the next 3 minutes. This team here at the Hogan Campaign Party just started playing this video here. They tell us that means that this speech is about 3 minutes away. The lights just went down here. Hundreds of people have filed into this room, all awaiting what is expected to be Larry Hogan's victory speech. This video we're watching here now showing moments from Hogan's time as governor, all of the things he went through during the COVID-19 pandemic, leading the seat through that. Also his battle with cancer. We're seeing photos from that period of his life as the governor of the state of Maryland. He was the governor from 2015 to 2023 before Wes Moore took over. Now, again, Larry Hogan entered this race at the 11th hour several months ago, right before the campaign filing deadline, and now he's here on primary election night getting ready to make his victory speech. Again, hundreds of people have filed in here, and we are getting ready to hear the former governor speak ahead of what is expected to become a victory party here in Annapolis. Guys?
Randy, I know you've been up there in Annapolis at the watch party for several hours now. What has the mood been like? I know it's gotten more packed as we get closer to the governor giving his victory speech there. But what's it like? What's the mood been like for the last few hours building up to this moment?
Tonight, we will get another beam of our great state's legacy.
Oh yeah, Chris, you can really feel the anxiety here starting to build, even in just the last 5 minutes. Since the lights went down, this hype video started playing ahead of the governor's speech here. You really can just feel the excitement here among Marylanders that are here to support the governor. Some of his some people here from the House of Delegates I've seen spotted walking around. Can't name them right off the top of my head, but they are here to support the governor. Again, we are expecting to be just about a minute away from the start of this victory speech. Larry Hogan has signs up here that say send a message to Washington. You've got people waving Maryland flags, U.S. flags here in the audience. People are really getting excited. Okay, guys, here we go. Getting started. Take a listen.
United States Senator, Governor Larry Hogan.
Thank you, Maryland. Wow, what a great crowd. And I want to thank every single one of you tonight. Thank you so much. You know, they said the Hogan brand of politics was dead. Well, once again, we proved them wrong tonight. You know, in 2014, they said it couldn't be done here in Maryland. But with your help, we just went out and did it, pulled off the biggest surprise upset in America. And then in 2018, we beat the odds once again, and I became only the second Republican governor reelected in the entire 242-year history of the state. So thank you. You know, we've always been an underdog. They've always counted us out. But every single time, together, we have beaten the odds. So thank you. Tonight, I want to thank all the people of Maryland for their continued support. I want to congratulate all 6 of our primary challengers and their campaigns. And it looks like it might be a long night before they decide that other primary. But let me also congratulate County Executive Alsobrooks and Congressman Trone and their campaigns. But tonight, the campaign for Maryland and America's future begins. With your help, we're going to bring our case for strong, proven, effective, and independent leadership directly to the people of Maryland all across this state, from one end of the country to one end of the state to the other. So thank you very, very much. Just 95 days ago, we launched this campaign. And I wasn't looking for a new title. I didn't need a job. But I decided to take on this challenge because I have never been more concerned about the direction of our nation. And there are times in history when we desperately need leaders to step up and put the country first. "50 years ago, a congressman from Maryland made a tough decision, and he became the first Republican to come out for the impeachment of President Nixon. He put aside party politics and his own personal considerations, and he stepped up to do the right thing for Maryland and the nation. That congressman was my dad, Larry Hogan Sr. I learned a lot about integrity and public service from him, and I have tried to live by the example he set. But today, Washington is completely broken because that kind of leadership, that kind of willingness to put country over party has become far too rare. And America is at a dangerous, critical crossroads. Most Americans are thoroughly convinced that we are hopelessly divided, that Washington is completely dysfunctional, and that our entire political system is fundamentally broken. The voices of the exhausted majority are often ignored in deference to the demands of the loudest and angriest few who seem hell-bent on tearing America apart. Enough is enough. Like you, I am completely fed up with
All right, you've been watching right here on DC News Now. Larry Hogan's victory speech, a former Maryland governor, declared winner of the Republican primary for the U.S. Senate race.
And he also acknowledged that his other people running in the Democratic race, candidates Angela Alsobrooks and David Trone, they're going head-to-head on the Democratic side. Whoever wins the Democratic nomination will face off against Hogan in the general election. Right now, let's look at where those numbers stand right now. Alsobrooks, according to the AP, at 49.1%. David Trone at 47.1%. We're told 25% of votes have been counted. This is a razor-thin race. They've been going back and forth for a while. Now, this race is to replace outgoing Democratic Senator Ben Cardin. Whoever wins in November will work alongside Senator Chris Van Hollen.
Okay, speaking of Angela Alsobrooks, our Mario Carbone is in Greenbelt at the Angela Alsobrooks watch party, which looks pretty quiet there right now. But, you know, the excitement is certainly building as well. And it's got to be very nerve-wracking up there, Marielle, for Angela Alsobrooks and her supporters.
Yeah, Chris, and I will say it may look quiet behind me, but what you can't see is behind the camera is where all the food is lined up, the bar is. So a lot of people are back behind us where you can't see right now, grabbing some food, mingling in, and there's tables to the right and left of us where a lot of people are sitting. So despite what it looks like behind me, there are a lot of supporters here, a lot of people in green shirts that have been out on the campaign trail pushing voters to vote for Angela Alsobrooks. We haven't seen any big names here yet or the candidate herself, but we do know she's got some big endorsements behind her. Governor Wes Moore, Senator Chris Van Hollen, and others. So unclear if we'll see them here tonight, but we're keeping an eye out. Kristen Tosin, I know you guys have mentioned just how close this race is. And that is one of the reasons why the candidate, Angela Alsobrooks, is not here today, or at this point, rather. She has been out on the campaign trail all day talking to voters at polling locations across the state because she has told us every single vote matters in this election. So she's been in Silver Spring, Hyattsville, Baltimore, of course here in Greenbelt, where she's wrapping up and expected to head to her campaign party here tonight. So a big, important race. She's really been reaching out to voters and trying to be relatable to them, selling herself as a mother, as a black woman, and pushing the fact that there needs to be more representation in the Senate for people that look like her. And right now the Senate, predominantly white men. That is something we've been watching unfold as the candidates have been out on the campaign trail over the last few weeks, especially leading up to this race. So more people are starting to come in here. The energy is starting to get up as people are watching those votes come in. Of course, it's going to be a long night because this race is expected to be so close. We'll be watching till the very end as those numbers come in. So we'll send it back to you guys now in studio. But for now, live here in Greenbelt, I'm Marielle Carbone at DC News Now.
All right, Marielle, before you go, I want to ask, you've been up there now several hours at the watch party. Angela Alsobrooks got the endorsements from most of the congressional delegation for Maryland, also Governor Wes Moore. Have you seen any of her surrogates, maybe some well-known politicians yet, or do you expect to see them? Have you heard that they will be there tonight?
We haven't seen any of those names just yet, but again, this really didn't get started until about 8:30. So people are still filing in. It wasn't as early as some of the other watch parties. We got here around 5:30 to set up for media and have been here speaking to you guys over the last few hours, and you've seen that it's been pretty empty. So we're just starting to see people come in really in the last 45 minutes or so. So it's possible some of those names could be here later in the night. Just at this point, we haven't seen them. But as you mentioned, there are a lot of big names that are behind Alsobrooks in this race. So potentially they could come out here and speak. And that also depends on how the race goes and at what point it's called and if it goes in her favor or not, Chris.
Yeah, it could be a long night either way as we wait for those results to come in. All right, Marielle Carbone live tonight in Greenbelt. Marielle, thank you.
And our team coverage continues now. Let's head to DC News Now's Daniel Hamburg. He's at David Trone's watch party in Baltimore. And Daniel, this race really, really close. Right now, David Trone at 47.1%. What's the atmosphere like where you are?
It has been pretty calm over the last hour that things have been getting started. We know some of David Trone's family are here, as well as some of his supporters, including some state delegates. Even one gentleman representing Prince George's County, we know, is here right now. So, of course, this has been a years-long campaign for Congressman Trone, spending $61 million of his own money in this advertising effort. Angela Alsobrooks has been quite behind in terms of money spent in this campaign, but she, of course, has surged in recent weeks due to big endorsements from the governor to, Senator Chris Van Hollen. David Trone, of the millionaire owner of Total Wine and Spirits, has been in this campaign saying that he has been focusing on his congressional record, things talking about criminal justice reform as well as mental health and addiction reforms. He has also received the endorsement of the state's largest education union. So he says that he is the person that can beat Larry Hogan in the fall. That is, of course, the big issue tonight, looking to see who can take on the former governor to keep that seat blue as Senator Ben Cardin departs office. Congressman Trone says that he is the most poised to do that. He says that he has a track record of beating his opponents in Western Maryland in a Republican held area. So he says he is confident. We have not seen him tonight. We know that he will be waiting until at least Montgomery County results come in. A lot of his efforts tonight and today rather, talking to voters in Baltimore City, Baltimore County. So he is really focused on the area where we are right now. But live from the Baltimore Museum of Industry in Baltimore, Daniel Hamburg, DC News Now.
All right, Daniel, before I let you go, we do know the AP has called the race for Larry Hogan, and we do know Trone says a lot about he could be the best choice to take on Hogan. Was there any reaction, or do people there even know that the race has been called for Hogan?
There's some TVs behind me that are showing the results coming in, but really there has been no reaction from this crowd. People are just kind of schmoozing, eating, drinking, nothing of any excitement or any reaction, rather, to the former governor's win in his race.